enough about me to shine your light on me. I appreciate your thinking about me. I just want to thank you, yeah, including me in your prayer. When I think about you, you're thinking about me, including me in your prayer. It's always a special love show, makes me feel like I'm not alone. Your encouragement, well, it inspires me to forge on through any rain and any storm. I appreciate your thinking about me, including me in your prayer. I just want you to know how I appreciate your thinking about me. I want to testify, including me in your.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is Michael Blaze of the Arts, Culture, and Us. We want to thank you for viewing as usual. Tonight, we're going to deal with the arts and a touch of culture, and we're going to discuss that fine music that you've been hearing, and they can keep playing, please, from Amiel, Push On, right there. And Brother Amiel is Minister Sar Amiel also, although tonight, well, let me just do it right. So this is Minister Sar Amiel from the Kingdom of Yah, which is Dimona, Israel, right? So and a little later on, we might even talk about the different movements of various Hebrews, which I learned from America, trying to get back there also. But tonight we're going to talk about...
We're going to talk about the songs of deliverance, a new genre of music on the planet, where we create music that is designed to uplift, motivate, and inspire, and to reflect a higher state of consciousness in the lifestyle.
And that's the type of music we're listening to now.
The kind of music.
You know, what's the name of your company, by the way?
My company is called Positive Music Works Media.
Does it really work?
Oh, it works. Listen to it.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it for the first time and loving it. There's something very warm and embracing about it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the philosophy behind it? Before we do that, we have this map up here because you know, being in Israel or people from America, we're not going to go to it yet, but people in America, they don't really know too much about Africa. So a little further on, we're going to have Sar Amiel give you a little update on where Africa is, what parts of it are relevant to the Bible, to you, to us, as African Americans, as Pan-Americans all around the globe.
That's right.
So tell us a little, though, right now about this song right here.
Well, this song is a spoken word song that I did a number of years ago, and it's designed to elicit a reality of a spiritual love. So we don't say that we fall in love. We say that we rise in love. Anything connecting to falling is relative to going down. So now you understand why most people's relationships don't work, because they fall.
I don't know why I never saw that before.
They falling in love. We say we're rising in love. So this is a song that's dedicated to rising in love.
Yes,
and when you listen to the lyrics, it says what food is to the mouth, it's what words are to the ears. So words feed the ears, and those words go through the mechanism of the ear and into the brain. So if you put harmful words into your ears, it's going to cause some disturbance in your mentality. Our job is to create a music that we call the songs of deliverance, to deliver some lyrics and a peaceful sound to you that would help in your mental health, because our people need to escalate in their mental health, which will help them in their physical health. And they need a music that reflects the desire to live an elevated lifestyle from an elevated consciousness, because that's what creates your lifestyle, is your consciousness. So if you have a chaotic, destructive lifestyle where you're always dealing with some drama or whatever, that's relative to your mind. Now, most of the music that's created in these urban environments are a reflection of the mentality, and so they continue to support the lifestyle of drama. We're saying there has to be a music that delivers you from that. We call songs of deliverance. So music is designed that when you listen to it, it seeps into your consciousness, and it gives you an alternative way of thinking. It gives you alternative vibrations to tune into, so that it'll uplift, motivate, and inspire you. And it'll begin to elevate you out of that drama, because it'll help you make better decisions, which is the key to life, to make decisions that enhance your life, that uplift your life, that inspire and motivate, that deliver you to a realm where you can be more assured that when you get up in the day, you're going to have a good day. And when you lay down at night, you're going to have good dreams. So when you wake up the next day, you have a good day.
So it's an extreme contrast to what's popular and current right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
you know, I was just doing a show with Dr. Bill Williford, who has his butter product. So it's hip-hop clothing, right?
Right.
And while we were doing the interview, it occurred to me he had pictures of young black men and women together, happy with a smile. And I thought, what a shame that has to be, you know, a strange sight for me. What a shame that I have to look at, you mean they're smiling, they're happy together, you know. So he's trying to do the same thing you are, you know, use what we're using, but let's be responsible. I think you told me before there was like a redemptive philosophy that you have in the kingdom. Right. Tell me a little bit about what redemptive, responsible philosophy means.
All of everything that we do is relative to redemption or redemptive. Our businesses, our educational system, our health system is for redemption. To bring a people from a lower state of existence to a higher state of existence, which is to redeem them, to bring them out of the chaos and the trials and the tribulations. See, right now, trials and tribulations and drama is the rule. But if you listen to this song, which is the title cut to the CD, we tell you to push on. That we have to fight for this. The assault that has been perpetuated against the people of the planet by the perpetuators of this music and these violent sounds and these, you know, overt and covert sexual spirit in the music. We have to really work hard to fight that. We have to fight through that. That's why most people, you know, they expect some calamity. They expect some drama. It's in the music. It's in the movies. It's in the television shows. It's in the radio broadcasts. It's everywhere. And so it's an assault. It's an assault. It's an assault on the spiritual development of mankind. And it's there deliberately. And so, because that is deliberate, we have to be just as deliberate. I'm not jumping up saying, well, you all should stop doing that music. What I'm saying is you should encourage positive music. You should encourage uplifting and motivating, inspiring music, because that's what you want. I remember in the early days, I used to do seminars, and I remember in the early days that if you cussed in front of your grandmama or your mama or your daddy, you get a beating. They wash your mouth out with soap and everything. But what's significant is that now these days the grandmamas and the fathers and the mothers are going out and buying the music that's assaultive and bringing it in the house and letting it blare in the house. And what it does, it creates the environment for drama and the environment for violence and the environment for accidents and chaos and all those things. And that's how powerful sound and words are, because thought precedes substance. So everything that's been created, including this television studio, came from somebody's thought and came from somebody's word. They had a thought, they spoke it to somebody, and then some energy was put behind it and was created. Nothing that has been created any other way than that. So if that is the case, then a man needs to understand that in order for him to have a positive and a beautiful and uplifting life, he has to think it, he has to speak it, and then he has to put the energy behind to work. So in this song called Push On, The idea, I talk about the Wright brothers as it goes on. I talk about the Wright brothers and say because they thought that man could fly. So they made makeshift wings and started jumping out of trees.
That was kind of funny when they first started.
Yeah, it was funny.
I saw a lot of those first trials.
As we know it today. I mean, the rocket ship took off yesterday, which was a result of their work. They pushed on. No, they took a thought and they followed it and they put energy behind it. They talked about it, they put energy behind it. Many in the space program today. And I'm saying that is the rule for life.
But you know, you mentioned something a little while ago. You know, later we're going to have Jeffrey Winston do a show also on this jazz, the state of jazz. And when we were there, Lucy Florence last week, I remember several people mentioned at some point it does become the responsibility of the parent to offer, to almost force feed or to bring in some other type of music or to regulate it to some degree. What do you think about that?
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the absolute on it because, you know, we study the scriptures from the ancient Hebrew. And the scripture it says how it's translated to us is honor thy father and thy mother that thy days may be prolonged upon the earth. But that's not the correct translation. The correct translation is honor thy father and thy mother that they may prolong thy days upon the earth. You see, children, the only God they know is their parents. That's the only God they don't know no other God. They see it in their parents. So if you come up in an environment where you think the children are your future, the roles are reversed. Because you're supposed to be the children's future. How are you going? Can you imagine a 13, 14-year-old, 17-year-old, or 20 or 30-year-old running something today? Look at the 30-year-olds who's making zillions of dollars. What are they doing with it? So is that the future? No. Spiritual parents must guide and direct children in order for them to be spiritual. As a matter of fact, I have a song on this CD called Babies to Angels, and it talks about a child born in this day and time. They don't go to the angelic qualities. They have to fight through hell and may derive at some sense of their angelic nature when they get 50 or 60 where they decide to do the right thing. But where they started out, they started from babies to hell. And I'm saying that we need to flip that. But the way we have to flip that is relative to the scriptures. To say, honor thy father and thy mother that they may prolong thy days upon the earth.
You know, I don't want to take you far away from that, but this is bad. Who is this singing?
This is myself as a duet with myself and India Ari.
India Ari?
Yes, it was.
You know, I'm sitting there saying, now I know that voice. You're talking, I'm trying to be polite. I'm like, ooh, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we met each other in Atlanta years ago, and we developed a very great friendship. And when I was in the studio, she came. If I went to the studio, you know, with her, we came up with some ideas or whatever. And I helped her, you know, with the deal that she has now. I helped her because she wanted to play guitar. When she first started playing guitar, I used to go around to the open mic nights with her and support her. As a matter of fact,
you recognize what she had.
Yeah, I recognize what she had, and some of the chords that she plays in some of the earlier songs are chords that I shared with her. Yeah. And so we've had this friendship over the years, and of course she's gone on to another level of in the music industry where she's a diva and an icon, and I'm blessed to have had that.
And she's still a sister, though.
And I'm blessed to have had that relationship with her, and our restaurants. She eats at all of our restaurants when she's on tour. Our sole vegetarian restaurant. She eats our food when she comes out here. You know, she eats at Taste of Life, our vegan.
Now, hold on. We can't just do it like, we got to give them a little more explanation. So, the vegan food, let's explain the difference to the average viewer. What is vegan? What is so-called vegetarian?
Okay.
The short side.
In this world, and just like we're talking about the music, there's a music that reflects the negative aspects of this world. Well, what this world has a tendency to do, anything positive, what they do is they diminish it. When we used to say, I used to say I'm a vegetarian. I didn't eat any meat, no milk, eggs, cheese, no dairy or anything. And then what happened, Webster took the word and said that you could eat poultry. And so the poultry now, in being a vegetarian, you could eat fish, you could eat chicken, eggs, milk, and cheese. Now we're saying as vegetarians, before they took the word and changed the definition, we could say we're vegetarian. But after a while, we couldn't say we're vegetarian because people would be offering us meat, and milk, and eggs, and cheese. So later on, it became another designation called vegan.
Vegan, okay, vegan.
Where you eat without any animal products whatsoever.
Well, you used to be with vegetarian.
We used to be
So you're the 21st century.
They took the word.
Orthodox.
They took the word.
Vegetarian. Vegan.
But I'm going to tell you something.
But wait, also share with them the results in Dimona, Israel, the medical results of all your people that are eating this way, because this is most important.
All of our people eating this way. We were under a study for 2 years. Now, I have to show you, if you can, with the map, this is where we are, and many of our people are in different parts of the United States. So we repatriated all the way here to Israel. Right?
So a lot of people don't know it. That's why we have the map. A lot of people don't know where Israel is. They don't know where. They don't know that Egypt is in Africa.
So they don't know none of that.
So we
that's another show, which we'll deal with later. But the Meharry Institute was in Nashville, Tennessee. Came from Nashville all the way here, and they did a 2-year study of our community, who were all vegans. And what they found is that we had arrested the aging process. Now, it wasn't just the food, it was also the lifestyle of no stress. So it's a combination of things. Lifestyle of no stress, the food, the vegan food.
Food is an essential element.
The foods, but they're components of the lifestyle, because you got to eat. Right? And we have...
Let's talk a little bit about what stress-free, and then we'll get back to the music. But
well, it's a stress-free environment because we have our own music, and our own music reflects our state of consciousness. Just like you hear the music now, that reflects our consciousness. So we have a nonviolent lifestyle. Matter of fact, we have a few generations of children. Our children now, we have children who were born who are now 40 years old and have never lost a peer. There have been no drive-bys, no crack addicts, no drug addicts, no crimes of passion. A non-stressful lifestyle. And what we're saying is that it's a combination of things. It's a combination of how you're educated. It's a combination of the entertainment that you absorb, the food that you eat, the people-to-people ecology, how you treat one another,
and having God first,
and having a spiritual base, having God, having order and structure in the context of spirituality, which means that our civilization is rooted in truth. Truth about life, love, liberty, pursuit of happiness, you, me, anything.
Who you are, all that.
Who you are, to get to the truth. Because the truth sets you free from being bound by living the lie. And it's the lie that keeps the stressful lifestyle.
No, we're going to go back to the music. Now I'm really loving it. This is like,
this song right here, this, India's doing the background in this song.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about...
So you play the guitar and the flutes.
Right.
Or percussion.
Well, in this song, what I'm talking about is how women are portrayed in the hood. See, this whole thing of using the B word and all that kind of stuff, and people and women being called outside of their names, and women responding to the denigration and all that came from somewhere. That came from a system that sought to continue to denigrate a people. And if you can denigrate your women, then you create a base lifestyle that creates base children. So in this song, I'm talking about a spiritual brother who meets Keisha. And Keisha, I just picked the name because I was riding to Atlanta one day, and I said I wanted to make a song about a sister in the hood, what they would call a hood rap, which is what the hip-hoppers and the rappers call the sisters, or they call them chicken heads or whatever they call them. People who don't really have a consciousness or an understanding, they just grew up in an environment where they've learned to accept the denigration and the degradation. So I said, man, what's the most popular song?
And the women respond to it.
And women respond to it. I said, what's the most popular name? I just want to pick up a name. And the most popular name was Keisha. At that time, everybody's naming their daughter is Keisha. So I talk about Keisha. I'm going to give you the 411 because I know you live in the 911. And as a spiritual man, I see you as a queen. I see you in a more beautiful and a more positive environment. And I'm going to fight for you. So I developed this relationship with this sister who I have to help extract from that degrading and that assaultive environment. And it's a spiritual brother who goes in there and works with her and works with her and works with her until she feels herself come back to some semblance of life and positivity.
The innate queen that she was.
The innate queen that she was. So in here I'm talking about, it ain't, the stuff that's happening in the hood, it ain't all right. It's, no matter what anybody says, all those negative things, it ain't all right.
No, it's not.
When you begin to elevate from that, then it becomes all right. But you ain't gonna tell me roaches and rats and dealing with paying bills all the time and being oppressed and looking in the mirror for the police. You ain't gonna tell me that people love that. They don't love that. They've learned to put up with it. And they put up with it so long, they think that that's living. So the reality of it with positive music works, with the kingdom of Yah and all that, all of this is reflective of coming out of that environment. Not just for inner city blacks, the whole world is under that assault. In every land, every culture, they're under that assault. You live in South Africa, they cut down all the trees and polluted the waters and all this. I mean, the whole earth moans and groans, awaiting the expectation of spiritual beings who would come and influence the planet to an extent where we cause people to make better decisions. And that's what it's all about. It makes a difference whether you come from China or you come from South America or you come from the North Pole. You know, I mean, you got whole cultures that are disappearing as we speak today. With the global warming here, the big glaciers and all that, and the Eskimos who lived on them,
they're like melting, right?
They're melting. That means
people acting like it's all right.
But they're not acting like it's all right because thousands of years of culture are gone. I'm talking about this has happened in the day and time that we live in. Thousands of years, they don't have nothing to teach their children. They don't have no culture going on. The culture was based upon the cold and the environment and the hunting and all that kind of stuff. All that's gone. The Inuits, all that's gone. And I'm saying that the whole earth is under an assault of a state of mind that seeks destruction. And you can see it today.
It seems that way. I'm so depressed looking at the newspaper. I mean, literally, like, what's the meaning of it all?
Well,
I mean, what is the meaning of it all?
But that's the reality. Let me depict something for you. You're gonna like this. Say you're a meat eater or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I am.
And you're under the oppression of going to work every day and dealing with the traffic and all that kind of stuff. I come from an era where people who like that, they say, hey, let's take a ride through the country. Well, why would they want to go to the country? Because they want to get out of this oppressive environment. So they're driving out the country. While they're driving, they smelling McDonald's, they smelling Kentucky Fried Chicken, all these smells in the air going out. When they get down the long country road and they driving, their whole spirit changes. They begin to relax and everything.
Start hearing the sound of birds.
Hearing the sound of birds. Now, check this.
Same birds they couldn't hear before.
Right. Now you go by a farm, right? You don't even look, you look at the farm animals different. Then when you see the cows, you don't see McDonald's hamburgers. When you see the chickens, you don't see Kentucky Fried Chicken. When you see them, you see aesthetics. You see the creation in its array, flowers and trees and animals and all kinds of birds, flora, fauna, all of that. And what that does to you, it connects you to the creation in its aesthetics, the sounds, the colors, the textures, the vibrations. That was enough. That was called life.
Take a trip.
I'm trying to tell you, that's why we go to Israel. That was called life. That was called life. This whole thing of living in concrete and and glass and polymers and chemicals and all that kind of stuff. This is what this has evolved to. That mentality of destruction has evolved an environment to that. And we're saying, and the reason why I can be happy and I can be jovial, because I didn't stop. I didn't stop and say, well, this is the way it is, that's it. I ran into brothers and sisters and all kind of people from all over the planet who just weren't gonna take no more. We said, hey, we don't like it the way it is, let's make it the way we want. We don't like drama, let's make a drama-less environment.
Well, hold on. He just gave me the 1 minute. I guess that's 1 minute to the show because I've been enjoying the music. I hate that they had to stop, but we want to give some props to your spiritual leaders and so on.
Yes, absolutely. When I met in the late 70s, I met Ben Ami, who was the spiritual head of the Kingdom of Yah, and Prince Asiel, who is the ambassador of the Kingdom of Yah. And through them, we have, I found out about this stressless lifestyle, the self-determination, picking ourselves up our own bootstraps, and creating the environment that we felt that would be better for our children.
In Dimona, Israel.
In Dimona, Israel. Now,
to that one too.
Now, in Dimona, Israel. That's in the Negev, the southern portion of Israel.
Okay.
Now, the reason why there is because that's the Holy Land. And at some point we'll have another show. We'll talk about
we're just talking till we run out of time. Tell us a little bit about if this all used to be Africa, at least before the Suez Canal, real quick.
Before the Romans came and conquered this area was not called Africa. There was a Roman general called Africanus. And when they conquered this land, they called it Africa after Africanus. Now, prior to that, when you go to your scriptures, you find out what the name was. It was called Eden, pronounced correctly. Like most people pronounce Eden. Eden. So the Holy Land was eastward in Eden, or what they call a paradise.
Teach Minister Sar Amiel, and we've been listening to his CD, and we have been talking about positive music works.
This is the whole lifestyle, redemptive lifestyle.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. I thank you always. It's my honor and my pleasure to be with you.